guys, midweek energy update as we head towards the weekend, which is likely to be dominated by a strong Saturnian influence coming through. Saturn will station retrograde on Saturday. On Thursday this week, we also have the moon in Pisces coming into a conjunction with Saturn as well. So starting on Thursday and definitely Friday and definitely Saturday, probably into Sunday as well, Saturn energy is going to rule the show. And we're going to talk all about that in our video for today. But to start off, actually, on Wednesday, this is kind of our energetic high point of the week, definitely like a highlight vibrationally, and we have for sure the most harmonious energy of the week going on Wednesday. If there are things that you need to get done, if there are chores, tasks, errands, trips, favors, if there are presentations or pitches that need to happen, Wednesday's the day that you want to do it. You're probably going to get the best outcomes, but then we do have this vibe shift, and moving into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, things are probably going to feel a little bit heavy, and we'll talk about it and how to handle it and what we should how we should frame our mind in the context of what we're moving through going forward towards the weekend. So all that being said, you guys, let's get into our report of the day. Let's talk about everything that we have playing out for us and what perhaps we can anticipate as we head through our week. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Wednesday, June 26th, 2024. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the day where we are narrating the shift of the ages. If you guys stick with me till the end of this report, I've done a collective tarot reading for us today as well. I like to tap the energy field for more than one modality whenever I'm doing these energy overviews, just to get an alternative energetic perspective on what's going on out there. So there could be some messages in there for you. That's going to happen at the end. Let's start with the astrology. Okay. We know right now we are on our way out of and moving through a 2-week period that was represented through a full moon that had an ongoing grand cross that was being indicated. We are in a period of time right now where there is likely to be sort of like this generalized sense of underlying tension that is kind of building, especially in the context of endings and beginnings, things that are going through a process of transition where something's got to give, essentially, so that something new can become. That is the generalized conflict that I feel like was being represented essentially like in a nutshell through that full moon energy that we had play out. If you guys missed that video, you might want to watch it, because these videos that are going to be coming up, the one that I did yesterday, this one, you know, for the rest of this week and next week as well, are probably going to be sort of the energy that was indicated with that full moon playing itself out. And I do feel like this report and the energy that we're moving into specifically as we go towards the weekend is quite exemplary of what was indicated by that full moon chart and the grand cross that was present for that. We do have Saturn stationing retrograde this weekend. The dominant Saturnian influences, the very heavy vibes, issues with control, authority, limitation, restriction, what we're trying to like break free from and break out of, and also like the belief systems and the mental frameworks that have perhaps held us hostage in the past that we're sort of in a process of letting go of right now, so that we can become something more in this energy that is simultaneously removing things but also introducing them, and again bringing up perhaps some type of conflict in the like way that that transitional process is playing itself out. This is indicated to have began with that full moon that we just had, which actually was one of 2 Capricorn full moons that we're having this year. The next one will be the 3rd week of July. And I do feel like I'm talking about this building tension. We also have a very powerful Mars-Uranus conjunction that is pending and will happen towards the end of the 2nd week of July. I'm not sure the exact date right now. It's like the 14th, 15th, somewhere in there. But before we get to the 2nd Capricorn full moon, Mars and Uranus will also come together in the sign of Taurus. This only happens every 2 years. Probably bring with it something quite explosive, likely to represent the peak or the climax, I feel like, in the tension that is building now that was indicated with that Capricorn full moon chart. And then as we move to the 2nd full moon in the sign of Capricorn, I feel like that will be like the release valve, kind of like letting some of the pressure out that has been building in relation to whatever unexpected event could be coming with the Mars-Uranus alignment coming through. So that's sort of like a snapshot of the energy from full moon in Capricorn to full moon in Capricorn, considering we've got 2 of them this year, and also marking the midpoint in our Gemini season, which is, it's been quite a doubling things, themes of doubling things, themes of reflection and mirroring have been very, very highlighted. I feel like this Gemini season, they always are Gemini season, but you know, with Jupiter in the sign of Gemini and just the way that things have gone on, I feel like those particular archetypes in association with the Gemini energy have been very prominent, and they are going to continue to be, I feel like, you know, as the rest of this Gemini season plays out and we move towards that our Cancer season and the second full moon that we're going to have in Cancer and Capricorn. Very active month that we are in right now from full moon to full moon. Now, that being said, of course, this week is mirroring, back to those concepts of mirroring and reflecting, right? The energy this week is very much reflecting, mirroring, and building upon what was indicated with that full moon. And that is because, especially as we get towards the end of the week this week, Saturn energy starts to run the show. Saturn is also an energy that can bring up sort of like an inherent tension or frustration. It can just put the pressure on. It can make things feel very heavy. Rules like burdens and duties, responsibilities. We can really feel like we got the weight of the world on our shoulders in some regard when Saturn energy is prominent. And with Saturn preparing to station, whenever any planet stations in its motion, be it retrograde or be it direct, it amplifies the energy of that planet. So we are looking at a week that is moving us directly towards some more of this very strong, heavy, powerful, dominant Saturnian energy that is going to be a force that contributes to this sense of building tension. Now, as we lead into that energy on Thursday, tomorrow, we've also got the moon transiting Pisces will come into conjunction with Saturn as he's preparing to station. So that also is amplifying the Saturnian energy that we have going on right now. And I do feel like there's probably going to be a bit of a palpable vibe shift. Like you could really feel like a totally different person between Wednesday and Thursday this week. Now, before we start talking more specifically about the Saturn energy that's incoming Thursday and moving us through the weekend, I want to talk about Wednesday, because Wednesday is not that way. Wednesday's sort of a little bit of a break in the tension. For sure, it's the most harmonious day and energy that we have going on all week this week. Monday may have been a little bit tense as well. We started the week with Mars squaring the moon. That is also always an aspect that has a tendency of just creating like a sense of a bit of inner turmoil or internal conflict, or, you know, actual conflict going on in various areas of our lives and stuff like that. So it could have been a week that sort of started out a little bit heated, but as we enter the energy of Wednesday, you guys, this is the day. If there's something that you need to accomplish, something that you need to get done, especially if it's going to be like a bit of a challenge, or maybe you've been procrastinating it a little bit, this is the day you want to do it. You're probably going to get the best outcome with the least amount of interference. Saturn also brings interference, blockages, delays, which could also contribute to the elevating levels of tension that we are likely to have go on throughout the rest of the week. But on Wednesday, the moon in Pisces will trine the sun in Cancer, which is ruled by the moon. This is like one of the most harmonious emotional energies that we can have. And also Venus in the sign of Cancer being trined by a Pisces moon. This is like all the good vibes, all the good feels. The moon in Pisces will also square Jupiter in Gemini. People could be sort of experiencing an outpouring of emotions that is going to tend towards the more like love and affectionate side of things in the energy of Wednesday. People are probably going to be, you know, just more in their feelings, feeling more compassionate, you know, kindness, empathy, much more prominent than for sure we're probably going to experience as we head into Thursday and move towards the weekend and the Saturn energy really kicks up. So I would recommend taking advantage of the energy on Wednesday. Things are probably going to go well on Wednesday, especially again, any more like difficult errands or like pitches or conversations, presentations. For sure, the most supportive day of the week for any of that type of stuff. Also, very, very great energy for organizing, planning, knowing how to like execute and get things done, bring a vision into life. Very, very, very artistically, creatively attuned, divinely inspired energy happening on Wednesday. Also really good for like making preparations, getting things done. We've got some symbolism going on, especially on Wednesday this week, that I feel like is talking about sort of getting ready for something along the lines perhaps of whatever is building, coming sort of to a head over this next couple of weeks. The sun is at 6 degrees of Cancer on Wednesday. In spring, new beginnings, game birds are feathering their nests, preparing for something, right? And then we've got the position of the earth also. 10 logs lie under an archway leading to darker woods, right? Like, what resources do we have and what are we going to carry with us to light our way perhaps as we navigate some of the building tension or the challenges that are to come. And we've also of course got Saturn right now about to station retrograde at a degree that we've mentioned several times over this past couple of weeks, where he's been 20 degrees of Pisces, a table set for an evening meal. All three of these symbols in the context of the aspects and just like where we're at generally in this unfolding cosmic blueprint make me think that like something is being prepared to happen, and this is very good like preparation, preparatory, getting ready for something energy as well, both the end of something perhaps and also maybe the beginning. So we've got that. Now another thing that we have going on Wednesday, Venus will actually be an exact square to the nodes of the moon in Aries and Libra of course being, you know, one of her home signs. So there could be some type of like fated or karmic connections or interactions that come into place somehow as we move through midweek this week that might kind of like, with a square aspect, like stop us in our tracks or cause us to feel like caught up in something perhaps, or like people from the past maybe catching us off guard. This could also represent maybe some type of financial conflict or opportunity as well that could be coming through here. We've also got Venus and Mars in a sextile aspect right now. Mars is in the sign of Taurus, ruled by Venus, and Venus is of course in the sign of Cancer, and they're at the same degree range. So Mars and Venus are sextiling each other. This to me brings up relationship themes and dynamics as well. And with Venus square the nodes, it could be again like in the context of the past and the future, what we're growing out of, who we're leaving behind, what we no longer resonate with, what we're no longer attracted to, and the new things, the new people, the new preferences and stuff that are emerging within us now and changing the way that we're relating to ourselves, to other people, to relationship dynamics, and essentially, you know, the whole world around us. So that could also be something like relationship dynamics kind of caught up in the crosshairs of things somehow coming through this week as well that could be playing into all of this. And with the Pisces moon not only trining the sun in Cancer but also squaring the Jupiter in Gemini right now, that is big feelings. That is maybe like some extremely open and expressive communicated feelings coming through, outpourings of emotions, getting things off the chest, okay, letting it all out, airing things out, stuff like that. But moon trining Venus in the sign of Cancer, it's likely to be these sentiments of love, affection, care, nurturing, like how much someone has meant to us, how much someone has helped us, how much someone means to us, how much we care for people. There could just be like an emotion that is really like moving us on some like big level going on Wednesday that has to do with matters of the heart. Okay, so harmony within the home and family, also with the Cancerian energy trining the Piscean energy, create peace and beauty in the world around you. Good way to use this energy. Again, very, very artistic. Music is also, listen, we've got two Sabian symbols in the energy of Wednesday that are both specifically using the word serenade, because, you know, that's not like a totally random word or anything. We've got two symbols. One, the position of Mercury at 20 Cancer. That Sabian symbol is Venetian gondoliers in a serenade, which another thing we got to talk about today that I have not yet mentioned is that Mercury is also in an exact trine to Saturn between Cancer and Pisces in the energy of today as well. We'll get into that as we start talking more about the Saturnian influence that's coming through, as of course that is something that is going to be represented in terms of the mental faculties going on with a trine between Mercury and Saturn. So we'll talk about that, but Venetian gondoliers in a serenade, position of Mercury, and then the position of Uranus, a Spaniard serenading his senorita, when we've got these beautiful trines playing out between the moon, our emotions, our feelings, and the sign of Pisces. This really beautiful, like divinely inspired water energy in the facilitating aspect with the sun and Venus in the sign of Cancer, again ruled by the moon. So this is a very pure expression of like these emotional sentiments that could be coming up, which really has a capacity in water signs especially to translate into some maybe type of like beautiful artistic flow of expression somehow that is kind of like very compassionately driven or divinely oriented in nature, or just like coming from above somehow. So really nice actually little break from the tension we've got coming through on Wednesday. And again, use this softer energy to accomplish what needs to be done in a way that experiences less resistance if you would prefer that, because once we move into the energy of Thursday, the moon continues her transit through the sign of Pisces, begins to come into conjunction with Saturn. This vibe is really going to shift. Saturn and Mercury in an exact trine on Wednesday, aside from like the more like lovey-dovey, highly like emotional nature of the day, this is actually introducing like a very constructive mental faculty. Saturn and Mercury in a trine together, like, oh, this is a very sharp mind. This is very like clear, linear, logical thinking. This is a profound ability to focus, very detail oriented. And that's one reason why I was saying, aside from the symbolism that was indicating like preparation, that this is a very good energy to like organize, to plan, to strategize, to implement, because not only do we have the benefit of the moon, Cancer, sun energy that is helping us to kind of understand like what we need, but we also, with Mercury in the sign of Cancer and forming the trine to Saturn in the sign of Capricorn, this is giving us like that clear judgment, like the linear thought process, the ability to organize. It is actually pretty good manifestation energy for making things happen, executing on plans, preparing things in the energy of Wednesday. And again, this is also enhancing that creative energy that is also very, very super available in the energy of Wednesday as well. So very nice energy Wednesday, both the emotional side of things and also sort of like the mental side of things, having a pretty harmonious time out there. So this is a day that you want to use to get things done. Now moving into Thursday, this is probably going to be a day where a lot of people are going to just feel like they woke up on the wrong side of the bed, if you know what I mean. Like that's the type of vibe shift that we're kind of going through. Like everything may have felt quite like nice and soft and fuzzy and lovely on Wednesday, but moving into Thursday, it's like people are probably just going to wake up in some type of like a funk. This is a much more cold, critical, negative, avoidant mental state and communication style than we had going on Wednesday. And that is because the moon is going to come into a conjunction with Saturn, and that is the trine that we're going to have going on between Mercury and Saturn on Thursday. Whereas Mercury and Saturn in trine on Wednesday had the moon trining the sun and Venus. So, you know, this is more lovely expressions, very clear, but also much just more gentle expressions of like what we're trying to communicate and say. Once that moon comes in the conjunction with Saturn and trines Mercury, this is a much harsher verbal expression and just generally vibe that we have going on. It is much more prickly than whatever we had going on Wednesday. And this, it's probably going to be like a palpable energetic shift, because this is the energy that will also continue to grow and transition into that building tension that comes with the Saturn retrograde that's going to be coming on Saturday. So it's likely to be a much more controlling energy and expression that we experience in terms of how people are just interacting with us and the world around them on Thursday. I think it's actually as a result, though, probably of an internal insecurity or a subconscious lack of control that we're kind of aware of, that is making people project maybe some overly controlling or critical responses and reactions to things. People are probably going to be a lot more pessimistic in the energy of Thursday than they were in the energy of Wednesday. And again, like I feel like, you know, with the moon in the sign of Pisces, with Saturn, it's probably this internalized insecurity or the lack of control that we are perceiving on some deeper levels within us that is causing people to like project that out and try to like exert control and authority and dominance in terms of what they can feel like they control in the world around them. So you might get that vibe from people generally moving through Thursday. We are also in very, very potent black moon energy. The black moon is currently at 29 degrees of Virgo, preparing to end her 9-month transit of Virgo. So this is going to be a really potent expression of that shadow side energy opposite Neptune. This is going to be activated in the energy of Friday as the moon continues to transit through Pisces, leaves the conjunction to Saturn, comes into conjunction with Neptune. We have been talking about both of these energies. Both of these energies, of course, were sort of what made up the dynamic component being represented through the grand cross of our full moon in Capricorn that we just had, which is ruled by, the planet Saturn. So again, the full moon chart being demonstrated via the transits coming into fruition and what we're likely to see as a result of that, especially Thursday, Friday, Saturday, moving into the weekend. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, people are probably going to be struggling with inadequacy complexes that are really distorting their emotional and mental perception of things. And as a result, with the Neptunian black moon influence projecting out perhaps some very harsh attitudes or demeanors towards others. And with the Saturn energy strong as well, people are, this is the inner critic, okay? When we've got the moon there in a conjunction to Saturn, especially even in the sign of Pisces, it's the fears, it's the illusions, it's the perceived failures, what we haven't been able to measure up to, the ideals that we have not been able to attain, where we feel like we're falling short, where we feel like we can't do it, where we feel like we don't have the capability somehow, our vulnerabilities. That is what people are likely to be struggling with and projecting outwards. That is causing them to kind of bear down on things around them going towards the weekend, being either very overly controlling and restrictive, or on the other hand, the flip side of this, when we're talking about Pisces energy, this is giving two distinct polarities, two fish swimming in opposite directions represented through the glyph. Controlling and restrictive, or neglecting and abandoning things altogether, like the overbearing and entirely suffocating end of this energy, or avoidant and unavailable. So those are the two primary octaves that this, more heavy Saturnian energy is probably going to manifest, maybe on a mundane level, in our individual lives, maybe see it playing out various ways on the world stage. However, there are some higher octaves of this energy too that I do want to also give dues to, because we may find ourselves playing out this octave of the energy as well. And it has a lot to do with emotional support, either finding that in and of ourselves and really having the discipline to regulate our own emotions as we go through whatever we go through heading towards the weekend. Or maybe we could find ourselves playing some role in terms of an emotional support system for others with this water sign trine that is going on with Saturn and the moon. We're talking about the moon and Pisces. This is this emotional energy. But Saturn is also the structures and the supports. And with the trine to Mercury playing out in Cancer right now as well, this could translate into just some good emotional support that we, again, either are giving or that we are kind of drudging up from the depths within ourselves as well. A greater ability to regulate our emotions in a disciplined and productive way is the blessing and the lesson along the higher octaves of this energy that universe is providing as well. So that really is the goal here, being able to regulate our emotions and take a logical, disciplined approach to the fears, to the challenges, to the difficulties and the emotional struggles that might come up in this energy. Saturn and the moon. We can always look at this as a test in our ability to be mature and to not let our emotions get the best of us. And especially with the trine to Mercury as well, we do have a strong ability to sort of logically navigate ourselves out of maybe some more turbulent or challenging emotional situations over the weekend, okay? We do not want to allow ourselves to wallow in any type of pity party, self-pity as a result of some perceived failure or inadequacy, which is likely to be what is triggering people. Black moon at 29 Virgo, you guys, people are going to be super triggered in their shadow, in their subconscious minds, and acting out because of an internalized perceived sense of inadequacy or like the fear of failure, essentially, is what this boils down to. But it benefits us instead of allowing ourselves to succumb to that sense of self-pity or wallow in that state, okay, to find the internal resolve, to talk ourselves through it, right? To navigate from a logical standpoint with the trine to Mercury from Saturn, even though the moon is there, to talk ourselves through whatever emotions might be coming up and to find comfort in our faith that God has not abandoned us despite whatever humans are doing around us, and that we must not abandon ourselves in this energy, because that is where the lower octaves are likely to take you, okay? We need to trust in the higher power that guides our lives, and to both know and believe that we all have a higher purpose, that you do have a divine purpose, and each day is an opportunity to step more into that, to evolve more into that, to discover more of that, to become more of that. And it is really up to us how we choose to perceive the failures perhaps that we have experienced, the inadequacy that has been reflected back to us. We could choose to perceive ourselves as failures, or we could choose to reframe our outlook and our perspective in such a way to see the actual truth that failure is really nothing but a mechanism and a roadmap to our eventual success. Each failure is a lesson that we're learning and a mistake that we're not going to make again, that is making us stronger, wiser, more resilient, and more in alignment with where we're truly supposed to be going. It's the experience that we need to build the destiny that we are emerging into right now. So failure, if we choose to see it that way, really is perhaps one of the most valuable lessons that we have the opportunity to interact with in this experience of life. Failure teaches us how to win. So we need to use this opportunity this week to reframe our perspective along those lines, not in a way that is making us feel perpetually bound to, never being able to accomplish anything, but instead to focus on the wisdom and the experience and the endurance and the capabilities and the skills that we are learning, the lessons that we are learning through whatever experiences, perhaps of maybe failure in this, that, or the other thing that go on. We need to be less emotionally attached to the feeling of failure itself and realize it should not define us, but rather it should guide us in terms of what we're going to take from those experiences to continue moving, to continue building, to continue going forward. So that's what I have to say, you guys, about the astrology for today. For midweek this week, we've got kind of two very different energies going on. Wednesday, lovely. Thursday, maybe not so much. Maybe give people a little bit of break on Thursday, maybe keep your distance. This is also going to be a good period of time over this next couple weeks, or not, well, maybe couple weeks, but couple of days as we move towards the weekend. And we've got this Saturn retrograde coming up, to be more withdrawn, maybe go into hermit mode, be, maybe a little bit more like self-analytical as well, with the trine going on and the water signs between Mercury and Saturn, using that critical mental faculty maybe to get more in touch with the deeper nature of our own feelings, or also with the very relevant Black Moon Neptune opposition right now, to maybe get to the bottom or get to the core maybe of some of the fears that have been holding us back, to realize maybe they've been an illusion the entire time, and to release our attachment maybe to some of these belief systems or some of these mindsets from the past that are no longer a reflection of what we're discovering about ourselves now and who we're growing into, what is emerging within us, and who we're becoming. And again, if you find yourself in a place where you feel like you are not this thing anymore, but you're not quite yet this thing, and you've kind of got to fight for the future that you're heading towards right now, that I feel like is the generalized vibe right now that is building throughout this next couple of weeks, and should be, culminating perhaps with that Mars-Uranus conjunction and releasing with the next full moon in Capricorn coming up. So that's what I'm going to say about astrology today, you guys. Let's talk about the tarot message for a minute. We actually, My method when I do tarot readings for this channel, I will shuffle the cards 3 times. Whatever cards come out, those are the cards that I go with. Today I shuffled the deck 3 times, and for the first time in like, I don't know, long time, no cards came out, but yet we had a Knight of Cups on the back of the deck, which, you know, what have we been talking about? These water sign trines, very, very receptive energy. People could be coming to you again with like expressions of like messages about their feelings and their emotions. This could also represent maybe some like gift or offering perhaps that's coming through, but there are just likely to be maybe some message or some emotion or some expression of feeling that you are receiving or that is being delivered to you. Now, after that, we actually had the Tower, the Tower card and the Page of Swords. So, you know, when we kind of think about what's going on behind the scenes and what is kind of building, this could also be reflective of that. As I said, we are moving towards a Mars-Uranus conjunction that is probably gonna bring some Tower moments up here in this next couple of weeks, and also some brand new insight, brand new perspectives, very fresh ideas, that really could be like opening our eyes and changing our perception of things somehow. So these 3 cards may be sort of like indicating the general way that things are going to go over this next incoming period of time here. But in terms of a specific message for today, I feel like this is just talking about being receptive to other people's feelings, or if you've got something that you need to say, maybe you are the knight delivering the message, but something about giving and receiving, or expressions or sentiments or offerings that are coming through. And remember, we also have Venus squaring the nodes right now. There's a very karmic energy here. The past and the future, I mean, it all plays together. There's the energy field is indicating like the same pattern coming through, like in tons and tons and tons and tons of ways. And that's really how I do this. It's like pattern recognition, you know what I mean? Like, it's like finding similar patterns playing out in like a myriad of energetic like activations that are being represented, and then like boiling it down to the common themes among them all. And so right now we are in a period of time that it's just being indicated like everywhere, like karmic endings and beginnings, the struggle to let go, and also the struggle to birth something new, like the past and the future, the old not wanting to like release its grip, but also the new not necessarily having the confidence to assert itself yet. And like, again, like the struggles and the conflicts that come up as a result of that. So these are all the themes right now. Be open to receive, things to do with relationships, Venus and Mars in sextile, Venus squaring the nodes, karmic meetings, interactions, divine alignment, and just be open to whatever makes its way into your purview of reality, I guess, as we move through the week this week. Let's get one more card now, you guys. Synchronicity card. God, Spirit, Universe. What is one final piece of advice, feedback, information, guidance? What should we keep in mind as we do move through this week and head back into the strong Saturn energy? We had really strong Saturn energy going on the week before last week too, because we had all the squares going on with Saturn. So this is sort of like picking up where that left off as well. And it says decide. So there you have it, you guys. And a house divideth against a house falleth, Luke 11:17. When you cannot make up your mind about something, you are battling in your own mind. Your house is unstable. Come to a clear-cut decision about a situation and follow what is good and right. Stick to that decision. Do not waver. So if you're feeling caught in between, if you're feeling stuck in the crosshairs, if you feel like you're at a crossroads and you're not sure what to do or which way to go, our guidance for the weekend is to decide, go with what you know is good and right and true in your heart, and surrender the rest to the divine. That's the message for our guidance, our advice for the rest of the week as we head towards this weekend. And that's what I have to say for today. Message from the stars, message from the cards, you guys. I hope you guys liked it. I will tell you guys, the behind the scenes on this one has been, it's so funny because I've been talking about like rising tension throughout the course of this video. I literally, in all the Saturn energy incoming, I literally got interrupted by like phone calls and people knocking on the door and like so many random frustrations. I'm not joking, like 6 or 7 times in the course of me trying to make this one video. So, it's everywhere. It's permeating everything, you guys. And that's what I'm going to say for the day today. Glad we made it through it. That we're going to make it through the week as well. Everything's going to be fine. We're going to get to the other side and it's going to be a beautiful day. So that's what I'm going to say. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did like it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, you guys. Share it with your friends if you think that they would enjoy this type of content as well, narrating the shift of the ages with us. Leave me comments, you guys. I am so grateful for your presence here. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here. What you guys have to say, your feedback, it means so much to me. And I really value knowing what's going on with you guys out there. If you want to know what is on this whiteboard, I have a Facebook group where I post images of that linked in my description box below. And come back with me on Friday, you guys. You know what we're going to be talking about? Saturn, and all about Saturn, and also Neptune, and also the black moon. So we're going to be getting more into actually that full moon energy that we are coming out of right now, and that the energy is just being so like the epitome of as we continue to move through our week. So I'll be here to talk about it. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. I will see you then, guys. Have a beautiful rest of your week, and until then, bye.